Welcome to Lair, the Alchemist, where we discuss all things heavy metal and hard rock. On today's episode, my 5 favorite Frank Zappa albums. I'm kind of surprised that I haven't talked about Zappa more on this channel. I am a huge Zappa fan, and I think part of the problem is that there's so much to his catalog, so many different things, so many different styles, so many different areas of music that Frank explored that it's hard to know where to start. And so I thought I would start with this. My 5 favorite albums from Frank Zappa. Not an easy list to make because, again, Frank does so many different things that there's, sometimes I'm in the mood for the more jazzy type stuff. Sometimes I'm in the mood for the more vocal stuff. But, all right, here you go. Here's what I came up with. At number 5, One Size Fits All. This is Frank Zappa and the Mothers of Invention. This is right towards the end. If not, I don't remember exactly. This might have been like the last Mothers of Invention album, but it's sort of getting close to the end of the Mothers of Invention. I love this album because it is that combination of the catchy melodies, yet absolutely incredible playing. I love his band from this era, Ruth Underwood, a marimba, Chester Thompson on drums, George Duke, Napoleon Murphy Brock on flute, George Duke is on keyboards, and just a ton of other great musicians. Inca Roads is my favorite Zappa song of all time, and in my opinion, an absolute masterpiece. If you haven't heard it, you need to check it out. I will be doing a Spotify podcast on this, so please, I'll leave the link down below. Check that out. You get to hear some of these songs. Can't Afford No Shoes is fun. Sofa number 1 and Sofa number 2 are amazing. They're just like sort of this lush, almost cinematic, orchestrated type songs. Pajama People, some great guitar playing from Frank on here. He's actually the only guitar player listed on here, and his guitar solo in Pajama People is amazing. Florentine Pogan. Andy is amazing. So this is just an incredible album. Fantastically recorded. All of Frank's albums, the production on them is always great, and that one is no exception. Okay, number 4 for me is Studio Tan. This one, I like this one because it's combines like a whole bunch of things from Frank. It's almost like orchestral rock, fusion-y, progressive. He's got sort of all of that in here. Side 1 is one long song called The Adventures of Gregory Peccary. It's got this crazy high-pitched voice in it. It sounds like it's altered. This comes up later on side 2 with Let Me Take You to the Beach. It sounds like he just took some vocals and pitch shifted them up. But Gregory Peccary is this sort of narrated like song with all this stuff going on. It's just amazing. I mean, Let Me Take You to the Beach, I mentioned that. That's a lot of fun. Revised music for guitar and low budget orchestra. Again, this is combining that sort of orchestral rock thing with just so much stuff going on. Redunzel. Incredible. This is an album that I can put headphones on and just hear so many different things going on. I would list some of the musicians, but there must be 25 people listed on this record. He had a ton of people on this one, and to me it is just such an amazing achievement of what you can do, what Frank could do in a studio, and just combining all these different sounds and styles, like from one moment to the next it can just shift on you. Amazing. All right, number 3 for me is Zappa and the Mothers, Roxy and Elsewhere. This is sort of like the One Size Fits All. I love this era of the band. This is a live album, but I do believe that none of these songs ever appeared on a studio record, so that's why I included it. George Duke, amazing on keyboards. Ruth Underwood is amazing. Everybody in the band is fantastic. It's done in a live environment, and it really captures an amazing thing about Frank where he was able to do these sort of structured, very technical songs, yet there were parts in the show that were just left wide open and almost spontaneous, improvised, left to chance. He always incorporated the audience into the show. It was like they were part of the show, and you hear him like doing musical things, reacting to the crowd, the band reacting to the crowd, and again, it's combined with this super tight playing, yet there's these moments of just spontaneity and chance and improv and things just happening in the moment. And the fact that they're captured here on tape like this is just a real treat and really fun to listen to. This is the Mothers of Invention, really like sort of at their peak of playing and performance. All right, number 2 is Sheik Yerbouti. I did a video on this album. One of my favorites. This is Frank getting into more of the lyrical stuff, like the funny lyric stuff, and the more, I don't want to say straightforward because there is a lot of stuff on here that does do different things, but you get some super catchy stuff like Bobby Brown is on here, Flakes, I Have Been in You, I'm So Cute. The band here is as usual, off the charts. Terry Bozzio here, a young Terry Bozzio on drums, Ed Mann on percussion, Peter Wolf on keyboards, Adrian Belew here on rhythm guitar. It also shows off some of Frank's great guitar playing on Rat Tamango and the Sheik Yerbouti Tango. Amazing. And also Frank at this time was doing this thing where he always recorded all of his live shows. And he would take live shows and then add stuff from in the studio on top of it, or he would take a rhythm section from one show and the vocals from another and put them together, a section from one song, put it in. And it's mind-blowing how he was able to do this and how good his bands were that he was able to do this, that the bands were so tight that night after night you could insert the bass part from one night and the drums from another, and they just synced up because the band were just a machine and absolutely, operating on a whole different level here. The way Frank is able to combine the elements of live music and the studio is so unique and so ahead of its time. I don't know if anybody has done what he's done, even to this day. All right, my number 1 is also the first Frank Zappa album I ever got, Hot Rats. I had, of course, been hearing about Frank Zappa. I'm sure I had heard some things maybe on the radio or something, and I went in and nothing to go on, didn't know anybody who knew anything about Zappa, just went in and bought Hot Rats. And I bought it on cassette. I can still picture, getting that and hearing it for the first time. Peaches and Regalia, incredible, amazing instrumental. I did an instrumental video where I said that was, one of my favorite instrumentals. It's so catchy, the melodies in it, the orchestration of it with all the different instruments coming in and out. Beautiful. Willie the Pimp has Captain Beefheart on vocals and is super cool with this nasty groove, and Beefheart has this insane, one-of-a-kind, extreme, nutty voice that just works so well in that song. Son of Mr. Green Jeans, Little Umbrellas, the Gumbo Variations, It Must Be a Camel. Everything except Willie the Pimp, I believe, is an instrumental. And it's again this sort of orchestral jazz fusion thing, incredible playing, so well produced for its time, just sounds so fantastic. It's still my favorite Frank Zappa record, and it's the album that got me hooked on Frank Zappa and sent me on such a journey. And again, I've said this, Frank's catalog is so diverse and so many different stuff that for me it's sort of like, this is where it started, and I went and branched off in all these different directions. So, all right, there you go, my 5 favorite Zappa records. Let me know what yours are, some of your favorites down below. Super hard to do so much stuff. Joe's Garage almost made the list. Apostrophe almost made the list. I like Waka Jawaka is amazing. Sleep Dirt. I mean, I could go on and on. The first album, These were my 5. Let me know your 5. Make sure you check out the podcast link down below. And until we see you again, make sure you rock hard, ride free.